sound check, please. Are we audible? Well, hello and welcome to yet another Icarus update. I am here with Corney. How are you doing, bud?
Hey, I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
Good. Seems like we still have a few audio issues that I need to address, but we can deal with that when we are offline. Meantime, we have week 25 Styx map pack.
Yep.
Oh, I'm so looking forward to this.
You're not alone, sister. You're not alone.
All right. Okay, so it's week 25. This is this week's drop. It's the Styx map and missions pack. And a little comment underneath stating free DLC featuring a new 64-kilometer square map, 14 new missions and new creatures as a sorry for a rocky launch and a thank you.
Free DLC, my favorite words. Free.
Oh, free is my favorite price, man.
Yeah.
I think it's everybody's favorite price. So, if you've just joined the stream, welcome. We are just about to get started on week 25's update. So we've got quite a lot to get through. So shall we get straight into it? Alrighty. Maybe just before we do that, you could give me a sound check if you don't mind, please, and let me know.
Fine.
Good. Okay. All right. So we have. This is a picture of the brand new Kia. Isn't it beautiful? I love the art. Yep. It says here, Styx is a free DLC for our fans featuring a new 64 square kilometer map, 14 new missions and new creatures. Thank you for supporting Icarus through our first 6 months since launch. As a thank you to our fans, we are making our new Styx map and missions pack free for everyone who has bought Icarus. Knew there was a reason I got the supporters pack.
Yep.
And I do understand that this is not part of the supporters pack, but the point I'm making here is I got the supporters pack to give them the support.
Yep. Same here.
So the fact that this is a DLC in and of itself, and everybody who has already bought Icarus is getting it, I think proves, to me at least, their commitment to their own community.
Oh, yeah.
And I think they should be given a really good review and a huge thumbs up. So, this new 64-kilometer square map doubles the size of Icarus's playable area. With it comes new missions, new creatures, and fresh regions of Icarus to explore. An entirely new 64 square kilometre map. I think I'm pretty much hammering that through now, seeing as I've said it a half dozen times already. 14 new missions, new creatures including crocodiles, Komodo dragons, the Kia, or the mountain parrot, with more to come. Oh, I like the sound of that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
The entire map unlocked and able to be explored, including locations such as the Wall, Rain Lake, and the Great River. And missions that affect the map and unlock shortcuts to new areas. Liking the sound of it so far, Corney?
Yep.
Good.
Yeah, them shortcuts like we tested in the beta.
Yes. Oh, that was a lot of fun. I can't wait to get back to it.
Oh yeah.
The Styx map and missions pack is available to play now in this week's update. You'll find it in the Prospect Select screen. No separate download required. Well, we already have the download.
Exactly, part of the update.
Yep. And here we have a little comment coming below from Dean Hall, but he says, Styx is free for everyone who has bought Icarus so far, but in future, and we'll let you know if, it may become a paid DLC pack. Read below for a more expansive discussion on this from our game runner, Dean Hall.
Yep.
Okay. Would you like to see the advertisement for the pack, for the mission pack trailer?
Sure, included. Already watched it earlier today, but
yes, I have
included.
too, but we can't guarantee that the peeps have.
Exactly. So
let's play it for them. Well, there you have it, peeps. What do you think of that?
definitely interesting imaging.
Yeah, yeah.
It included the Olympus Scorpion boss.
Yes, it did.
Or maybe we'll see it in Styx as well. I don't know.
Yes, well, don't forget that there are going to have to be some missions that our Styx characters are going to have to play on the Olympus side of things so that we can unlock certain things like the exotics or the cave worm bows and you know, the extra things that you require a mission to get.
Scorpion trap, Scorpion hedgehog, those missions.
Yes.
Yep.
So it's going to be a mix and match thing I see coming up here. Okay, Corny, would you do the honours of taking us through the comment below, please?
Right here. This new territory is centered around a long braided river, which the first cohort prospectors named Styx, after one of the rivers of the underworld. The Styx territory has been locked down for several years after an incident between the UDA and a group from the African coastal states. Rumors have circulated ever since, but both parties remain tight-lipped about the circumstances that led to the previous lockdown. Spanning forested, arid and Arctic biomes, there are reports of unnatural growth rates and mutations in the planet's wildlife. Now the Lagos unit has suddenly changed their stance, declaring the previously uninhabitable area as safe and opening up several new licenses for prospects. Of course, they'll still take a cut of whatever you find.
Well, that doesn't sound too bad. We've managed,
safe,
so far.
Yeah, Lagos unit says it's safe. So,
Yes, well,
we all know what safe means on Icarus.
Yes.
Safe to die. Yes,
precisely. Yes, it's safe to die here, 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 and here.
Yep.
Now, I thought this was interesting that this was included in the patch notes, but I have to say, having given it a read through earlier on, I'm really glad it's here because this allows some of those most frequently asked questions to be given answers to the whole community.
Yeah, it's a nice Q&A.
It is. It is. Okay, so Styx FAQ with the Game Runner, author Dean Hall, Game Runner, also known as Rocket. Why do a map pack using the same biomes? Shall we take this a paragraph each?
It's fine.
Okay. So the first one, I'll take the first one. The answer to this starts like this. When we started the Icarus project, we knew we wanted to try doing something different. When we released the beta, it quickly showed us we needed to adapt the game rapidly to make up for some shortfalls in what we were doing. We also revisited not just what we were doing with the game, but how we were doing it, focusing on developing a competency to quickly iterate and deliver both changes, large and small, at a weekly cadence.
As
So,
part of this,
yeah,
let's first do the entire thing and then discuss this question.
yes,
So as part of this, we needed to revisit our process behind world creation, our world builders team. In making Olympus, what we named our first map, we learned a great deal we wanted to do differently as we approach our future content. However, we felt uncomfortable with moving straight into doing a whole stack of new biomes, until we had applied the changes we needed with what we already had. This is how this new world was born.
while I can appreciate everyone, including our own team, wants to jump straight into alien and exciting new biomes, it was critical that we ensure we had a well-oiled machine making our worlds before we introduced new biomes into the mix. We decided to package this work up and join that effort with work from our design team to deliver a map and mission pack.
In the past I've done quote sections, but I think it's really important I outline some of the sky level thinking around Styx, based on some of the comments and concerns I've seen on the forums and from our great content creators. Hopefully this section below helps give some insight into what this Styx spec is, what it isn't, and how it factors into the learning we are trying to make as we head towards real new content.
Okay, and underneath we have the next question. So what he's basically saying here is that they're trying really hard not to rush things because they need to know they've got a system that works before they start playing around with it, is what I take from that.
And this is a sentiment which I see all over Discord as well. Like, make sure your current stuff is working before adding new stuff.
Yes.
Something I understand from a gamer's perspective, and I'm glad the developer team thinks about it the same. Because yes, if you don't have a proper foundation, your building can never grow strong. So first make sure your base game is working proper before adding new content upon the base game. Learn from your mistakes so far, fix it, incorporate these changes into new content. So definitely take it one step at a time.
Yes.
Don't rush headlong into new DLCs, new content, and then having people complain like, but your base game ain't working proper, why are you giving us new content?
Yes, exactly. I mean, I thought the fact that they released the beta weekends was ultimately critical to how they approached difficult issues. And a lot of the issues that they required to fix were done during the beta weekends.
Yep.
And I think that gave them an incredibly huge head start when it came down to finding out what the community thinks about the game, what they like about the game, what they think be better about the game. And they took all of this into consideration and started pumping it out every 2 weeks for the beta weekends, which stood them in really good stead to close that gap down to every week when it came down to the game's launch.
An update every week is pretty darn quick.
Oh yeah. You know, and some of the most recent the most recent issues that they've had have to do with power outages, which then ultimately have a really negative impact on their own servers.
Yeah. I mean,
And yet,
look at it from the bright side. This also enabled them to better address some other issues people had, where it was like, for example, now after power outages, they put a system in place where you can contact the support and tell them, hey, look, because of this, here's my Steam ID, because of this I lost this and that. So you can get the currency back for the items you lost. They
yes,
now also use the same method for people who get a disconnect upon dropping in which case there is some kind of desync happening, which means their loadout is no longer in their inventory in a space station, but is also not in the dropship.
yes, yes. And
So,
we've seen that happen to other people, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So the basic message here is, we know that these biomes work. We need to test moving them around and seeing how they interact with each other from different places. We also want to add new things into this, but we don't want to start with too many. So
Yeah.
we'll use what we know works, and we'll add a couple of bits to it and see and make sure that that works and works well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go down to the next one. How does a free DLC work? Okay. We all keenly felt the rocky launch in the team, and we've been looking for ways to provide a thank you to those who stuck with us. So we put aside our work on our big DLC plans to focus on the structural changes we need to make, both in the studio and the game, and do our homework, as well as a form of small DLC that we could provide for free to those who stuck with us.
Yeah. Everyone who owns the game now and for the current future will always own this DLC map pack for free. While we don't have concrete plans to charge for this map pack in the future yet, it's something we would look at down the line. However, again, everyone who already owns the game at that point would still have the map pack. Only those buying the game new from that point onwards would not. So basically they said, yeah, we have new big DLCs in the pipeline, paid DLCs, which is going to generate income for them. But they said, no, we're going to put it on hold. We're going to fix the current issues. And additionally, as a thank you to the players who stuck with them so far, folks, here's a free DLC.
Again, there's my favorite price.
Yeah, talking about putting the players' needs in front of their own needs. So they postpone their own income in order to give us a better gaming experience, and additionally, as a thank you, they give us free content.
I'm gobsmacked. I love it.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. If it was being sold, how much would you price it? Again, to confirm, Nobody who owns the game now would ever pay for it. But to give an idea into our thinking here, my estimate would be in the few dollars range. We see small content packs like this as being worth, if not free, something in the range of $4 to $6 at best. As always, appreciate thoughts on this, but I'd like to labour the point as this. For now at least, it is more of a sea trial for us rather than a realistic paid DLC plan. So there again, he's just reiterating the fact that he's putting the team's needs below the needs of the community.
Yeah. And also, look at the price, $4 to $6 for basically doubling the map of Icarus.
Yes.
So you pay what, $20 for a base game?
Yeah.
And for like 20%, 25%, you double the playable area.
Yeah.
Me
exactly.
Like it.
Exactly.
And it's not just more playable area, but also the additionals like the Kias, the Komodos, the crocodiles, and more to come.
Yeah.
Very modestly priced, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
Definitely not overpriced.
Oh, for sure. I mean, people pay more for a DVD. So, I mean,
yeah,
if you can get something for that small of a price, even if you did have to pay for it, which right now you don't, by the way.
Oh,
you know,
I have to say it has to be a hell of a DVD for me to play it 900 hours in a couple of months' time.
Yes, with me not that far behind you. Yeah, exactly. So, okay. DLC content versus DLC expansions. Huh? We want to be able to grow the game, especially for those we really like.
Typo. For those who really like.
Yeah, for those who really like the unique approach we are trying with the genre. As part of this, we've adopted a few broad principles approaching DLC for the game. DLC ownership tests should be as loose as possible. Overly restricted DLC can have massive negative impacts on the ability of people to play with their friends. DLC content, like the Styx map pack, should be priced very modestly, a few dollars, just representing more of the same, so their pricing would be very modest. And DLC expansions should be expansive changes to the game, but should coincide with improvements to the base game as well. Care should be taken to strike a balance. It is very easy for game developers to have content in the expansions that should really be in the base game.
So our studio is independent, and through this whole process we're learning a great deal. We want to learn how to produce good content that is reasonably and sensibly priced, that doesn't restrict people's abilities to play with friends. We will be working with you all in the months and years to strike this balance. Please do continue to let us know your thoughts as always. Oh yeah, definitely. Like, if you don't have the expansion, you cannot play with someone who does have the DLC expansion.
Yeah.
Well, it might be true for the maps. I don't know. Haven't tried it yet. It's going to be a tad tough to try at the moment.
Yeah.
Because like everyone who currently owns the game can play the game and has the free DLC and got it in the update, so has the Styx maps.
Yeah.
But I like it where, how they say, like, all those really base mechanics should be in the base game, not in an expansion pack.
Yes, precisely.
Imagine at some point if they get vehicles, right? But you have to buy this specific expansion pack before you can use the vehicles in the base game.
Yes.
Rocketworks says we are not going to do that. If we add vehicles, it will be in the base game. And because of that, also usable in the expansion packs, but it will be in the base game. So you'll never run into the issue where someone has only the base game and someone else has like all the expansion packs and they can't play with one another no more because of the difference, because of the
Yes.
one person not having the expansion packs.
Yes.
I
Well,
like their approach.
there is actually an example of that already in the game, and that is when, for example, you and I had done both of the missions that unlocked the exotics in the base game, and the other two of our team members hadn't. And so the base game didn't forbid them from joining us on missions that included exotic nodes and exotic veins just because they hadn't actually done it on
Even
their
though
own.
they hadn't, even though they hadn't done those missions yet, they still got the exotics,
Mm-hmm.
which is good.
Yes. Yes. So there's an example of that right there. It's a very small example, but it's still viable, I think, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, they keep the same approach with the expansion packs, indeed.
Yep. Okay, so let's continue on. Why not vehicles? I might be laboring the point a little, but if our beta and launch taught us anything, it was that we needed to make some changes to how we were working. Jumping straight onto complex new tasks without confirming we had learned the lessons was dangerous. We all understand and agree that cool new content is needed. Transport has been an issue we have debated internally, and in fact, we devoted an entire milestone with good results to how we would approach this.
It is critical that we prove we have made the required adaptations as a studio, as well as balance the game enough that it can survive changes in player travel time before we tackle the issues such as vehicles. It would be very easy for us to destroy the experience, either by throwing a major new mechanic like vehicles in, or changing the experience to be more like other games. Vehicles are being requested for quite a long time, and quite a lot of people have requested it.
Yes.
Dean Hall has a point. He says, "Yeah, we can add some half-baked vehicle thing into the game, but if we already know it ain't gonna work proper, it's gonna do more bad than it will do good."
Yes.
Definitely has a point there.
Oh, yes.
First,
I
make
mean,
sure your game is up to it, and then thoroughly test the new vehicles before adding it to the game. Because I already know all the people who know are requesting vehicles. If they add vehicles and it won't work proper, all those people will promptly start complaining like they don't work proper. So better to wait a bit, do a bit more work, and make sure it works proper, than throw it in half baked.
yes, and destroy the game because it no longer works as it functions as it should.
Yeah.
Yes, well, that's definitely it's just reiterating the last point and the point before that, and that is
Yeah.
don't rush things. You have to make sure that what you've got works and works well before you start adding new bits to it.
Yeah. And adding
So,
vehicles will be quite a big change.
oh yeah, I mean the
But,
mechanics for that are ridiculous.
and do we really need it? Come on, last night we ran straight across the map from southeast to northwest within half a game day. Just over half a game day.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
not. I mean, traveling for me and deciding what we have to carry and what we have to not carry in order to get from one corner of the map to the other is half the gameplay.
yeah, it's part of the fun. And come on, we were traveling over encumbered and still
Yeah,
crossed from southeast, the southeast Arctic, to northeast Riverlands within the game day. Like we arrived at like 1 something p.m.
yeah. I mean,
Really? Do we need vehicles?
we left about 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning game time, and got to the opposite corner of the map just after lunch in the same day.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and we ran the whole. Well, we didn't run; we bunny hopped, but that's because that's our method of travel. Because it's fun, and it's actually faster than running. You know, and that for me is half the fun.
Yes.
You know.
And true, like in Styx, we're gonna have to have breaks more frequently because of the weather.
Yes.
So sure, it'll take you a bit longer to travel, but still, come on.
Yeah.
And indeed, like determining what can I bring with, what can I not bring with.
Yeah. What do we need in order to survive?
So, what can we build in situ? What do we need to bring from main base? It's part of the fun.
Yeah. I mean, my own personal thought about this, and this is just me putting forward my own opinion. You're gonna have to give me a map that is 5 or 6 times the size before I even consider the fact that I need a vehicle to get from one end to the other. I mean, we proved it in last night's stream.
I mean, if vehicles come into the game, obviously we're gonna use it, and then we're gonna start complaining it can't carry enough, and it ain't fast enough, and it uses too much fuel. I mean, people are never satisfied, and I admit I'm one of those people. I'm never satisfied. Something new comes in. First I'm like, I'm not needing it, but once it's there, I'm gonna start complaining about the limitations.
Yes.
But I mean, right. Yesterday we mined like over 1,000 exotics.
Yes.
So it was a good thing we were with 3 people, and from the last vein back home with 2 people, so we could haul everything.
Yes.
If it had been a solo one, it would have meant that we had to run back to base after each vein. Otherwise, you can't carry all the exotics.
Yes.
Purely amount-wise.
Now,
So sure, at that point, a vehicle might have been handy.
Yes.
But still, come on.
Yeah, I mean, if you can carry everything you need, you know, and you do what we do, you have one person who's over encumbered, carrying too much, and the other person is not, which means that the second individual, they run point, they do the scouting, they look for the threats, they provide protection for the individual who can't move as quickly. But that's just all part of the gameplay, and you lose all of that if you're running about in a buggy.
Exactly.
You know, I mean,
you miss a lot of teamwork, indeed.
Oh yeah, and this game is one that encourages team play. So, having said that, let's move on. Why haven't you moved faster? And I'm not going to say because we don't have vehicles, because I don't care that we don't have vehicles right now, because that's half, it's half the fun.
Yeah.
Okay. It was pretty apparent to us within the first day of the beta that we needed to change not only the game, but also how we were working. In my experience, that's the nature of game development. To try to bolster our suggestion we are working as hard as we can, we committed to building trust by producing a solid update every week after launch, including the holidays. We are proud of achieving that, and we've been really pleased with the response to that, both in the positive and negative feedback. This feedback, so long as it's constructive, is extremely useful and how we make a better game.
Yeah,
Well,
every single week without fail, even holidays. Sure, they might have done it one day earlier, but still, every single week an update.
mhm.
And hey, something important was broken because of the update. They didn't say we have vacation, so we're not gonna know. They were working on it to fix it.
Immediately. Yes,
Oh yeah.
exactly. You know, I mean,
Oh yeah.
I can only remember one instance where they dropped the weekly update on the Thursday instead of the Friday. And the only reason for that was, as we believe, and we're not 100% sure, so don't quote us on it. If we're wrong, you can drop a comment. You can leave a comment underneath in the description if you're watching this afterwards. But the point is that they
They had a public holiday.
they had a
So
public holiday, and so they still released it, albeit 24 hours early, but they still released it. And more importantly than that, when they had big problems with the game, they gave up their holidays to try and work on solving the problem.
yeah,
You know, can't have it both ways. But like they said,
well,
that's how they make a better game.
yeah. So
And
positive and negative feedback. Sure, negative feedback also works as long as it is constructive.
yes, and negative feedback includes people from the community who send their screenshots and send them images into the Discord or to their upvote or whatever, wherever they do it, and say, this is a problem that we're having right now.
Yeah.
And they'll go, duly noted, we're on it.
Yeah. Feature upvotes is being looked at a daily basis.
Yes. Yes.
And like each and every feature upvote is being looked at.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes you see them merged because they're the same issue, which already shows you, hey, it's being looked at. People complain like nothing is being done with feature upvotes. Well, they at least look at it. And I also do know they are actually working based on things they get in the future upvote.
Yes. Yes. Hey Bert, good to have you with us. Glad you could join us. Welcome to the stream and welcome to the chat.
Hey Bert, hoe gaat het jongen?
Share your thoughts with us if you have any comments on the update. Please feel free to throw them in the chat. We welcome all input. So we were actually just discussing the feedback that gives the Icarus team the connection with the community.
Yeah, sorry for my Dutch, but it's a pretty Dutch name, so hence.
No, that's quite all right. It's good to have people in the chat. So we're down to where are the alien biomes? In addition to the reasons why we haven't moved to new biomes above, it would most likely not be a surprise to many that we aren't happy with some of the performance aspects of the game. Throwing some new biomes into the game without addressing any performance concerns related to them would be adding a lot of new textures, models, sounds, animations and such, and make matters worse.
Not all our different teams work at the same cadence as every other team, and we already have a backlog of exciting, and in some cases downright terrifying, new animals. But we can't just throw these into the game until we can confirm we can wield them properly. So, while frustrating, we are taking our time. Luckily, the content work around it has been able to already begin while we lay the groundwork. Like in the Styx, we have some new animals there already, and yet they behave differently. But you have the art department. They have to come up with the art. Or the animals, they have to get their proper movements, the proper behavior, the proper routines. Like crocodiles are way faster in the water than on land, whilst other animals is the other way around. So yeah,
Yeah.
and like we said before, why are you bringing out new content instead of fixing issues? Different teams working at different speeds.
Yeah. I'm actually just gonna try and alter my sound. Could people in the chat maybe give me a sound check here? See, let me know if that's any better.
Way better now. Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you very much, Bert. I appreciate you. I'm gonna have to do some alterations to my audio again, but I'll do that offline. Until such time, you will I will be requesting frequent sound checks as I mute and unmute just to make sure that things are all right. So appreciate your patience and your support. Sorry, Corne.
So again, first make a proper foundation, the proper groundwork. Make sure the performance is proper before adding new performance impacting new content.
Yes.
People
Yes.
are already complaining like, we have this lag and this stutters. Imagine them adding a whole pack of new content, and then performance gets worse. That ain't good either. So yeah, definitely. I'm glad that they decided to hold off on it a bit whilst they first address performance issues.
Yes.
I mean, especially AMD CPUs. GPUs. They have more performance issues than Nvidia. So I'm glad that they address performance issues before just willy-nilly adding new content. I mean, I would like new content, but then again, I'm playing on Nvidia.
Yes.
So
yes.
my
As
performance is okay.
Yeah. Yes.
But we know Carl, for example, is playing on AMD.
Yes.
And he has his fair share of issues, yeah.
Yes, I was just going to say, and when he is joining us for gameplay, there are a couple of things that we try not to do in order to help his GPU, like no, we try not to run around with the torches on, or we only have one fire burning, or we put out a forest fire as soon as possible, because some of these things affect his graphics differently to our NVIDIA's, and the downside to that is that sometimes, well, you're host, so you're all right, but that then means that other people who are connecting to the host can experience lag spikes, which I was last night.
Yeah.
But again,
well, then if it allows us to say we are at least able to play together with him, so okay, sure, we have the occasional little lag spike, so be it. At least we can still play with him, you know.
Yes, and that's the most important thing, is being able to game with the team.
Oh.
Okay, so down below here, underneath that, we have Zakia. Go ahead and you read this one, Corne.
So take a moment and go read about one of the most amazing creatures in the world, Zakia, a mountain parrot from New Zealand. As a mountaineer, it's been my privilege to be close to these incredible creatures. An animal that teach each other through play, We like to think that if the Kia could play video games, they'd love to be sweeping down through our terrains. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean the Kias are beautiful animals.
Yep.
Beautiful animals, and I appreciate from a naturalistic point of view, and somebody who has pretty much watched everything that David Attenborough ever came out with. You know, it's a beautiful animal, and I can appreciate his connection to the bird, and I'm really glad that he put that connection in for the rest of us to enjoy as well.
Yeah, I don't know the Kia myself, but I've seen it in the Styx beta, and I like the bird.
Yeah.
By the way, Bet is getting his new RTX 3050 in tonight. Hope they'll improve my performance. Well, depends on what you're currently playing with, but also depending on the specs of the card, like how much video RAM you get. But hey, Nvidia versus AMD, I'd say for this game, Nvidia wins.
Hands down, Nvidia wins every time.
The Icarus team is working quite closely with Nvidia actually,
Yes.
whilst developing the game.
Yes. Bert says he's
GTX 1050.
currently using GTX 1050. I'm currently using a GTX 2070 Super. So there you go.
Yeah, let's see. Mine is an RTX 3070
Oh,
Ti.
RTX. Sorry, RTX.
3070 Ti with, from the top of my head, 8 gigs of video memory. Would be nice if that would be double. I mean, Icarus is memory hungry, both system memory and GPU memory. But hey, it's working fine as long as I don't overheat it. I noticed that.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so here we are. Final thoughts. I realize as a consumer it can be very frustrating watching a game, especially one you think has potential but falls short, not quite hit where you want to be. Our team definitely feels the pain for every user reporting a bug, losing their gear, or just having a bad time with a poor mechanic. We are, though, resolute with the broad idea of session-based. We just have some homework still to do to deliver that.
As a thank you and a big sorry for the beta and the launch, we hope Styx shows you we have improved in our ability to deliver content, and that we can take those lessons and apply them to exciting new biomes, creatures, mechanics, and features in the future.
And that's from Dean Hall, Game Runner.
Yeah. I like the way how the game works. I like this whole session-based gaming. I like it a lot.
Yes, it's so much fun.
Oh yeah.
And I'm going to say right now, I'm going to lay my cards on the table and say I am so glad that this is not PvP, because every other game that I have tried to play has ended up getting turned into PvP, and it just ruins the experience.
Yeah, I've done my fair share of PvP in the past. I now more enjoy the PvE. Maybe because I'm getting older, I don't know. But I'm like, come on, I wanna have a nice relaxed time. How relaxed can you be if you have to battle a whole platoon of gigantic polar bears in Styx? But still, it's PvE.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the play style, the game style. I like it a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. So much fun.
Oh yeah.
And it doesn't matter whether you've done a mission half a dozen times. It's still just as much fun as the first time you ever played it.
Yeah, and it shows in our playtime. Like I said, 900 plus hours.
Yeah.
If I wouldn't have liked this game, I wouldn't have lost that much time in it.
Oh, for sure. Definitely. So we're going to get some new missions. I love this image of the Arctic there. The UDA has assigned 14 new contracts for prospectors to tackle to complete objectives the original task force failed. Okay.
Bet in chat says they're working on DLSS too. Alright. Yeah, they're constantly working on performance issues, including indeed DLSS. I believe this one was specifically mentioned in one of the previous patch notes.
Yes.
So, anyway, back to the new missions. 14! Yay!
That's. I mean, there are so many hours in a single mission. I mean that's brilliant. My question is, how many of them are going to be exploration?
You want to know? 5.
Okay, that's quite a
5.
few. That's quite a few.
True. But come on. It gives you opportunity to get familiar with the lay of land without any pressure of you have to do this, you have to do that.
Yeah.
In other words, it's going to be a bit more boring, but hey, it'll give you opportunity to get the lay of the land, learn how to handle the new animals.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we are getting pretty good at it already. Like one distracts the crocodile, draws his aggro, and the other one comes in from behind and knives him to death.
Yes. Yes.
Maybe we ought to create spears for this one. I don't know. We can test it out as well.
I'm not great with spears, you know. I have
basically the same as knife. It's just longer.
Yeah, but I just tend to have a, you know, I mean, I can't throw spears worth a hoot right now.
Don't throw them.
So.
Stick with the spears.
Okay.
And they might actually be good against Komodos and crocodiles.
Yeah, I'm just remembering how badly the Styx fared me when I first started doing the beta weekends, and the reason why I switched to a knife. So.
Like I said, don't throw them.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe against Komodos and crocodiles because you can keep a bit more distance.
Yeah. Well, we'll soon see. We can test it. We can test it. Although Styx features familiar forest, Arctic, and desert biomes, the map provides a fresh maze of pathways and missions to explore, including some time-saving shortcuts that can be permanently unlocked by some missions.
Yeah. Paul and chat. I wish I hadn't deleted my spear character now. Well, we haven't tested it yet, Paul. But I think it might be worth testing it out. And yes, spear was a bit not really the best weapon in Olympus. Maybe for the scorpions at some point, but by that point everyone was already switched to knives. But yeah, against those Komodos and crocodiles in Styx, we definitely have to try it out. We definitely have to start using spears to see will it be useful against those animals.
Yes.
Yeah, back to the patch notes.
And welcome to the chat. It's good to have you in. If you've just joined us, we are just going through the weekly update as normal. So good to see you, Paul. Thanks for joining us. And also Carl still says max 3 max characters, so new character. So I'm assuming he's only going to get a new character if he deletes one he's already got.
Yeah, like already has 3 characters, so you need to delete one in order to create one. And there has been talks about the possibility that we will be able to get more characters, but I haven't seen this confirmed by Rocketworks yet. It has been mentioned that there might be such a possibility, so that would then be good.
Certainly would be. Although I reckon that if we are going to get extra character slots, my first base guess would be that it would drop with a paid DLC.
No.
Possibly.
Remember how they said this new content should not be DLC exclusive? It should be in the base game. So I reckon if they are going to give us more characters, it will be in the base game.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
Anyway, those shortcuts, yeah, the one we did last week, Thursday? Last week,
Yes.
Thursday, where we had to blow up the cave from two sides.
And then in the mission after that on the Saturday where we had to use the laser to go through the wall.
Towards the cave lake thingy. Yeah, but
Yes. So
that part only has one entrance.
Yeah. Well, we ended up having to blow both sides of the wall.
No, that was the first mission we did. Like, was it Maelstrom? Maelstrom.
Yeah, Maelstrom expedition, I think.
Yeah, because the desert we had to go to has 3 entrances. 4, sorry. One from the forest, one from the central forest, one from the south west Arctic, one from the northwest Arctic, and one for that bit of forest in the north. We did blow a hole through the wall for the entrance in the southwest Arctic.
Mm-hmm.
So this will become a permanent shortcut once you have done that mission.
Yes.
The other entrances still will be there and will be open, I reckon. However, the Sapphire, I believe it was the Sapphire, yeah, where we had to go to the Circle Lake. That piece of forest only has one entrance, as far as I can see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it says here your time in the Styx territory will start with an exploration mission before branching out into more challenging extermination, expedition, and research contracts with more lucrative rewards. The first 14 missions are available now, see the changelog below, with 2 more, Rendezvous, Delivery, and Ballistic Extermination, unlocking next week.
It would make the exploration ones 5 out of 16.
Yes.
Oh.
So they've only just launched the free DLC and they're already saying we're going to get 2 new missions next week.
Well, they say the time in the Styx territory will start with an exploration mission. That is not correct. Omphalos, the first one, Omphalos is an expedition one. Remember, we had to go to the Arctic, so we had to level to level 20 in the very first mission.
Mm-hmm.
So that one is not an exploration; it's actually an expedition.
Yes. Well,
but it unlocks the first exploration mission, which in turn unlocks 4 different mission paths.
Yeah, so you've actually got to do a mission before you can get the exploration to unlock everything behind it.
Uh-huh.
It's going to be fun.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So 25 weekly updates. I love how they've turned all these things into cards. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, if I could buy that pack, I'd get it in a heartbeat.
Me too. And especially the 23 one. I want that one as wall art.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I love that image.
Yep.
Okay, Corne, would you fancy taking us through this?
Yep. So if you haven't played Icarus for a while, you may be surprised what has changed with 25 weekly updates now under our belt. A lot. As well as new missions, items and bosses, some major changes to core game systems have been made since launch. The biggest change is the removal of Icarus's real-world timer, which sometimes caught players by surprise and left their characters and all their gear stranded on the planet permanently. Missions are now based on time spent in the game, although Icarus is still fundamentally based around time-limited missions and sessions. Other big changes include the hardcore and safe difficulty options, optimizations, more talent points, and a separate talent tree for solo play. Most of these changes are based on your community feedback and the most upvoted requests on our future upvote site. So please continue to give us your feedback there. Other big changes they haven't mentioned here are temperature rework,
Yep.
armor durability.
Yep.
But yeah, definitely the biggest one. I tend to agree. The change in the timer. No
Yes.
longer real world timer, it's in-game timer.
Yes. So it may take you real world 3 weeks to complete, but that might be because either you're a solo player or you and your team can't play but more than 4 hours on a week. So it's based on the time spent in game, which I think is far more user friendly.
We have had it a couple of times ourselves as well, where we were like, yeah, we want to do this mission. However, it only has like a 1 day mission timer. So we can't do it right now because we only have a couple of hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially when playing with an international team. People
Yes, where
from around the world.
everybody's in a different time zone.
Yeah. The amount of time you can play at the same time is limited. So if you
Yes.
have a real world timer, sorry, your mission will run out before one solar cycle. I mean, if you have a 24-hour timer on your mission, good luck completing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless
Unless you have an awful lot of Red Bull and a buttload of snacks beside you.
Yep.
And a lot of time to spare. Like a day off or something.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot has changed in those 25 weekly updates.
Yeah.
25? Like a quarter of 100 already.
I know. I mean, it's been so much fun. It flies. It really does.
Oh yeah.
And I think one of the biggest things here is if you get the opportunity, please give them a positive review. I know I will be. I haven't done it
Positive
yet.
or negative, as long as constructive.
Oh yeah. I mean, I love this dev team. They are so committed and they want to give the community what the community is asking for.
Yeah.
But they also want to make sure that they give the community the gameplay that they expect. You know, they hold themselves under such pressure to give very quality of life results that work. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. So the question is, what's next for Icarus? While the Styx map is intended as a bonus content for our community, it is not one of our planned major expansions. Rocketworks has already begun work on New Frontiers, the first major paid expansion for Icarus, which is due late this year. A second expansion, Dangerous Horizons, is planned for 2023. These major expansions will feature new, more challenging biomes and more mutated or even alien life forms and new gameplay challenges. We look forward to sharing more about them in the coming months. In the meantime, we will regularly keep updating the core Icarus game. You can expect a lot of our team resource will be working towards bringing you this exciting next chapter in the growing story you've come to love. That is Icarus. Oh, I can't wait.
First time I see a timeline for the DLCs.
Yes.
So New Frontiers late this year, and Dangerous Horizons is planned for somewhere next year.
Yep. I mean, I can't wait. I mean, I've spent so long enjoying this game.
Oh yeah.
And it's great to know that there is so much more to come.
So late this year, well, we're almost halfway the year already, so it won't be that long anymore.
Yep. I mean, it's going to seem like a couple of updates away, and before you know it, it'll be upon us, and before they know it, it'll be upon them. So
Yeah. So before we hit the 50 updates, weekly updates, we should have the first DLC, the
yeah.
first major DLC.
Oh, I'm getting all excited. I can't wait.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Now that's the reason I got the supporters edition. Those two
Yeah.
expansions are the reason I wanted the supporters edition. Because
Well, I love the base game,
oh yeah,
and if something is good, more is better. That's why I got the supporters edition.
yep. Oh, for
Something is
sure.
good, more is better. So I want more.
Yep.
Give me them DLCs. Yeah.
Now here's quite an interesting change up for the update. The dev stream and AMA. Do you want to take us through this, Corny?
Sure. This Sunday, May 29th at 10 p.m. UTC, that's 3 p.m. PDT, that's 10 a.m. Monday morning New Zealand time for us in New Zealand. We'll be hosting a Styx dev stream in AMA with game runner Dean Rocket Hall, playing the new Styx map and missions, while our community manager Shamgod hosts an AMA with various members of our vision, art, and design teams. You can leave questions in our Discord and our Twitch chat. This is a great chance to ask that burning question about the future of Icarus, what Styx is bringing to the table, or why headshotting a baby goat from 100 meters feels so good. Join us over on Twitch, twitch.tv/surviveicarus.
Well, I know what I'm doing on Sunday now.
Well, I won't be home, otherwise I'll be watching as well. Like having the game on the one screen and the stream on the other screen, obviously. But
Oh yeah, well I will be watching that. I will definitely be watching that. Now, considering that BST, right, British Summertime right now is sitting at UTC +1, that'll be 11 o'clock for us.
yeah.
So
Yeah, Rocket himself is going to play Styx. I hope actually, that he's creating a brand new character for this.
yes, me too. Me too. I really do. That's
So
actually.
how big a chance do you think?
Oh, I don't know. I see. I have no idea how much he's actually played the game. I mean, I do even during the beta streams, the beta weekends that him and his team did streams. I watched them. I loved them. I stayed up all night for it, and had an absolute blast.
Yep.
But he and his team were, I don't know, dying together and dying separately and all this kind of
they were
stuff.
dying left, right, and center. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, but
I know.
we don't actually know how much outside of those streams they've actually played, and I think
don't know either,
it would be really good for the viewers to see them start from scratch.
One can only hope.
It would be nice.
Because it will be a lot of love in them dying over and over and over again.
Yes, yes.
I mean, we know how hard it is to start over.
Yes, having done that, been there, doing it again
even,
later.
Even while you're level 20, level 25, and you have to solo run without equipment through a pack of crocodiles in order to get back to base because you died and you had to respawn. No, that ain't pretty.
No.
There were a couple of deaths there. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it would be nice to see them create new characters. But to be perfectly honest with you, given the fact that we have no idea how much they play offline, we have no idea what kind of characters they have. So it's pretty hard to tell. I certainly wouldn't blame them for taking in the characters they've got, but that's only because I know how hard it is to start again.
Yeah. Well, I've seen them play beta and early game. I have to admit I haven't seen much gameplay from them lately. As in no. But then again, I haven't been searching very hard either, so yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Alrighty, so we're down to the change log now.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you fancy starting us off here, Corny?
Right, hey. So we have a new map, 8 by 8 kilometers to explore, based around a large central river network, and then a list of missions. Vertigo expedition mission, find and repair lost drilling equipment. And then Maelstrom, well, it's Maelstrom, M-A-E-L in game, so typo in the patch notes here.
Yeah.
Which is an exploration mission with Sapphire expedition. Hey, Maelstrom is an expedition and not an exploration.
Typo ×2.
That's not a typo no more. There's an error.
Yeah, so they have
Talking
a typo
about
and
that,
they have a typo and a
yeah.
faux pas.
Yeah, Vertigo is indeed an expedition. Sapphire expedition, scan for new potential drop locations to unlock more missions. Then Omphalo's survey, it is labeled expedition in the mission tree. That's the one you start with.
Mm-hmm.
Gossamer research, yeah, is a research mission. Discover more about worm species native to this planet. I wonder, will we get more of those huge ones who pop out of the ground outside caves?
I think
Could
we're
be
about to
interesting.
find out.
Well, not really. You have to complete 4 other missions before you can go to Gossamer. But okay. Crescendo survey. Let's see, where's Crescendo? Looking in the mission tree here. Indeed, survey. Investigate the shifting sands. Sounds like sandworm. Shifting sands in Olympus is also a sandworm boss mission.
Yeah.
Alcazar construction. Sounds good. Set up a self-sufficient powered research base. I have no info about those missions because they're all locked behind. And the only one I can get the description from is Omphalo's. So yeah.
Yeah, but
Ricochet.
we will have that description once we've progressed far enough to unlock it.
True. Ricochet expedition. Investigate signs of an oasis. We're getting what you call it? Crap, now I forgot the English name. Bert, luchtspiegeling. You know the English word? Fata Morgana. Let's just call it that. Might be some Fata Morgana thingy. I don't know. Would be interesting though if you run through the desert and all of a sudden you see something completely out of place and it turns out to be a Fata Morgana. Anyway.
You've lost me because I have no idea what you're talking about. Phenomenon?
Okay. Let's see what
says
Google...
mirage.
Yeah. Yes, it's a good word. It's a French word. What? Hold on, what's going on here?
It's mirage.
Anyway. Is mirage? Okay.
Hi, Carl. Bye, Carl.
Well, yeah, Fata Morgana. Apparently, there's. Well, I don't think Fata Morgana is a Dutch word as such, but anyway. So, mirage.
Yes.
So, imagine you run through the desert, and all of a sudden you see a big polar bear.
Yes,
it
well,
scares
I mean,
the crap out of you, and then it turns out to be a mirage.
Yeah, that would be definitely interesting. Does that mean that when you and Carl encountered a level 90-something plus bear at the entrance to the desert, that you were seeing a mirage?
Well, If it was, then it was a pretty darn good one, because it kicked the crap out of us. Anyway,
And underneath here we have 5 exploration missions called
headlong exploration. Let's see, headlong. Oh yeah, that's the one, the second mission, headlong
Yep.
exploration. Adagio exploration, adagio, whatever you pronounce it. Kismet. Oh, definitely sounds Arabic. Exploration, cavalcade exploration. Is there a dust exploration? Dust? Oh yeah. Top right, dust exploration.
And
And
one
then
last
what do we
one.
got? Halcyon extermination. Investigate increased polar bear presence in the area. Uh-oh. Right, I think we're gonna go for guns on that one. But we have to work fast because it's only a 6-hour time limit.
What? No
I know.
way!
I know. Polar bear
Holy
in
cow!
Styx and only having 6 hours? I know.
No.
That's gonna be tough.
I'm thinking recurve bows and flint arrows up to the hilt here.
2 bows, 4 stacks of arrows.
No,
At least.
three bows, 6 stacks of arrows. There is
need
no
it.
over preparation in Styx, remember.
Heck no, especially not when having to deal with polar bears.
Okay.
Man. Whew.
Which
For the
brings us
people who want to know what we're talking about, check our previous stream. It was the third mission we did on Styx Beta.
yes.
Second scan.
Styx previews
Man.
continued
Whew.
part 2, I think it's called.
It was
Mad.
yeah, it was
Absolutely
Maelstrom.
mad.
Maelstrom expedition and the second scan.
Yeah.
You really need to watch it. You know what we're talking about when we say there is no over preparation here.
Oh,
Whew.
good grief, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Would you do me the kind honor of taking us through each of these individual animals? I need a really quick bio break, so I will be back as soon as I can.
So, we have some nice new creatures here in Styx. Start out with the adolescent cave worm. Once they grow beyond their larval stage prevalent in Icarus caves, they become significantly more dangerous and can venture beyond their subterranean nests. We had it in the Sapphire expedition. You will see what they're talking about, the adolescent cave worms. Significantly more dangerous. Well, they're still recurve bow and flint arrows still take it down with a one shot. Sure, but they are huge. Then we have Takia, Icarus's first Avian edition, colorful in both appearance and character. These mischievously clever parrots will take advantage of any undefended food store they can get to. I have not seen them grabbing food from a drying rack, but that might be because we made it a habit of putting it inside the base. However, leave a campfire outside with food in it, wait a bit, and you'll see the Kias come in and actually steal the food from your campfire. On the other side, you can then use it as bait for parrots. So basically a nice source of food and bones. Then we have the Komodo. Typically distracted by food, these will likely not bother you unless you come between them and their meal. They have a nasty bite that can leave prospectors nauseous at best. This is true. They are not aggressive. They are not aggressive by nature. They aren't really hard to kill. Just knife him in the face whilst walking backwards. However, do take care they don't bite you, because they give a very nasty debuff, even worse than the festering wound. And the thing is, like, I don't know, 1500 seconds or so timer on on the infection. On the other hand, it is easily cured by the antibiotic pill or tonic, the purple one. Paste doesn't help for some reason or the other, or at least it didn't in the beta. But the tonics, they help to cure it immediately. And with the pills, obviously, you are preventively protected. And then there are the crocodiles. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Ever present around the war bodies of Icarus, they're most at home in the water, but can still be a notable threat on land. Their thick hide makes them resistant to projectiles. They are fast in the war, real fast. On land, they're doable. If you walk backwards and knife them in the face, you can typically stay ahead of them. Don't crouch, because then they overtake you. They bite hard, and they whip you with their tail very hard as well. Basically 2 hits and you're a goner.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind. And resistant to projectiles, this is true. However, as soon as you aggro them, they first open the mouth wide and roar, which gives you the time to fling 2-3 arrows straight into their throat.
Yes. We were commenting on that as we were doing the Styx preview beta testing. It's the same with the Komodos as well. They will stop and hiss or roar at you, and if you're far enough, if you're bow and arrow length away, you can get 2 or 3 shots, critical shots into the mouth and kill them before they even start moving towards you. Alternatively, if you're close enough, that's the point. You can get in with a knife and get critical hits with a knife. So there is the opportunity to take them out really quickly, but you do have to be tactical about it.
And like we said before, it's very easy if someone draws their aggro, and the other one comes in from behind and start knifing them.
Yes. Yes.
We made it. We did it multiple times, and it works quite well.
Yes, it was. But you'll see more of that as we get into the live stream, which right now we're moving ever close to. So stay tuned. Fixes. Improved way player loadouts are handled to reduce chance of players losing loadouts and or items. Modifying the way players' loadouts are granted, the player's dropship now controls and stores the state internally of whether or not it has granted the loadout to its inventory. No more passing of items from player. This allows disconnections to occur during the dropship sequence, and players will still be able to get their loadout upon reconnecting.
This is a big fix, major fix in my opinion. A lot of people suffered from disconnects during drop-in, at which point, because the items were tied to the player, not to the dropship. They were in the dropship inventory, but tied to the player, so you have to disconnect. You have to resume prospect, at which point you actually land, but the connection between the player and the items was kind of lost, so the items did not end up in the dropship. If you if you straight away went back up with your dropship, you lost your equipment. You had to remove from prospect RFP. Then you had your items back, but you could not join that prospect again with that same character because you RFP'd. So you had then to join that prospect with another character and hope you didn't get a disconnect during drop-in again. So this one is big.
Yeah, it's huge. Like I said earlier when it was mentioned above, this is one of the things that we have seen happen to other people. And several times. And
oh yeah,
even
I've seen
knowing
a lot of complaints about it.
Oh yeah, even knowing that it hadn't happened to us, every time we loaded up, we were just praying that it didn't happen to us.
And sure, we know if you RFP, at least you get your stuff back, but a lot of people don't know this. So they landed, they were like, oh, no inventory. Oh, wait, it's in the dropship. So they looked in the dropship, no loadout here either. Did I forget? So they took the dropship back up. At which point they lost that equipment, because the equipment was tied to the player instead of the dropship.
Yes.
So yeah, now they changed it. Now the link is from equipment directly to dropship. You drop down. Sure, you get a disconnect, but hey, the link of the object is to the dropship. So you resume prospect, you land in your dropship with still the links to the objects in, so you can grab them from your dropship inventory.
Yeah. It does take a
This is
little bit of time
good.
to get used to remembering that, because the first couple of times it happened, I'm like, I'm down, I'm out, I start gathering stuff in order to start crafting stuff. I get attacked by a wolf and I go to pick up my knife and I don't have it because I didn't take it out the dropship.
And a lot of people had that issue. Like the amount of times in Discord people were like, hey, I dropped down and I have nothing in my inventory. The game is broken. And then, no, read the patch notes. It's in your dropship now. Please have a look there. Oh yeah, it's in my dropship. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes even without a thank you, but yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you weren't the only one.
But they fixed it, and we like fixes.
Oh yeah, and especially this one, because this was big.
This was definitely a big one. Another kind of large one is the next one, where they fixed an issue where the player could be considered, quote unquote, in a cave whilst still outside the voxel entrance. Now that I have experienced.
Yeah.
Like the cave is closed off. It's one of those ones that has an amount of stone, flat stone outside it, but you have to step up to it. And as soon as you step up to it, you get the cave debuff. And you're not anywhere near the entrance to the cave yet.
No.
So, and I also wonder whether or not that will also affect the hitbox that
yeah, the one on top of the mountain. Yeah,
the one on top of the mountain. Yeah. Yes, which I ran into last night, surprisingly enough.
Huh. Interesting one. We could test it at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know exactly anymore which cave it was, but there was indeed this one cave where the hitbox of the cave extended above the mountain, like above the grass on top of it. Yeah. So you were running along, and all of a sudden you had this slight cave debuff, and if you're in the wrong direction, you actually hit the hitbox. You hit an invisible wall.
Yes. Yes. Well, I hit that last night. Yeah. And it's also in one of my Triple F episodes. So
yeah. I don't know. Now, maybe this one and the next one is kind of the same, I think.
Mm-hmm. Fixed the drill power quest step, incorrectly checking whether the drill was active or not, and progressing without the drill having biofuel in. Slightly tweaked the worm respawn timer on the second stage of the quest.
Isn't this one the one? I think this one is the one where you have to drill through the M9 cave. Because there you have the two walls where you have to drill through. But then again, this is an electric drill. It wasn't the biofuel one.
Yeah, because you had to well, we connected it via solar panel. Yeah. But I suppose you could connect it if you took a biofuel generator with you.
Yeah, but without the drill having biofuel in.
Yeah, exactly.
Indicates towards some kind of biofuel drill. Which mission this is then?
Well, maybe it's one of those that we've already done and have done it so long ago we can't remember doing it.
We have done. Yeah, we definitely have done it. I mean, the only ones we have not done on Olympus is a couple of expeditions. So.
Yeah. Well, the next one is linked to it anyway, whereupon they fixed the drill power quest step, incorrectly checking whether the drill was active or not, and progressing without the drill having a biofuel in, as a previous fix also broke the quest step. but both are fixed now.
Good. Yeah, so they fix it, so the drill stops without biofuel, but then it doesn't register the step as complete. Oops. So good thing they fixed that.
Yeah.
Because it's annoying if you can't progress the mission because it's not registering. So we had this once.
Yes, it was probably the second.
And yeah. And we had to restart the mission, so basically a waste of all the time we've put into it because we couldn't complete the mission.
Yeah.
So we didn't get no rewards.
Yeah.
It was a tad annoying.
Yep. That was the Voyager recovery mission, I believe.
Don't know. The one where I ran up to the dropship to the one pod, so it would take off. It took off. I noticed for a fact. We all heard it. I saw it, but yet somehow, game didn't register the
didn't
mission
register
step as being completed. So we couldn't complete it no more because the drop pod was gone. But it somehow hadn't registered.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So we had no choice but to jump in our drop pods and just abandon the mission because you know if you don't get the quest step complete locked in, then there literally is nothing you can do except go home and go away. So the penultimate message here is the improved game performance degradation after extended playtime due to AI, artificial intelligence, getting stuck in loops, constantly executing expensive GOAP action precondition checks.
Yes, this is a known issue. The longer you are in a mission, the more the performance degrades.
Then the more lag you get.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they managed to figure out what the issue is, or at least an issue, and they fix it. Because this is the reason one of the reasons actually, why we never do long missions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is part and parcel of the reason why we push to try and get a mission finished as soon as possible, because we have experienced multiple occasions whereby the longer you're in a game, the worse the performance is and the more laggy the more laggy it gets.
Yeah.
And that's not just for the people connecting it, that works, that affects the host too.
Yeah, host as well as clients. Everyone is suffering equally. So at least that's a good thing. You're suffering equally. But still, it wasn't fun.
Yeah. And last but not least, they fixed another instance of non-player characters getting soft-locked when trying to pick between multiple incomplete actions that caused large performance drops until they died or despawned.
Don't think we have ever had this issue with NPCs. But then again,
I don't know. I mean, I'm instantly reminded of a boar trying to get across a river and taking damage because he got stuck in the middle of it.
I'm more thinking of animals that stop in the middle of nowhere, trying to determine what to do. They're getting soft locked. I mean, you can still kill them, but they're like stopping halfway some movement and like basically thinking, what am I going to do next? Step left, step right, step forward, move back, fall dead. Basically, and they're getting into some soft lock loop, causing performance issues.
Yeah.
Anyhow, whatever the issue is, it caused large performance drops until they died or despawned. So, and they fixed it.
Which is always
another
a plus.
Performance fix. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, because performance fixes give literally result in quality of life and gameplay.
By the way, talking about performance, I was thinking about AMD performance issues, especially with fires. I think there are some shadow effects these people could some shadow settings they could change in order to try and fix the performance drops when nearing an active fire, basically a light source. Obviously, you have the normal shadows which you can set to low. There's also a shadow filter method which one could look at.
Yes. So there are graphic settings that you can change within the game that will help your performance.
Yeah. But anyway, this is slightly off. Well, kinda, but not entirely off topic. Anyway, I think we have completed the patch notes.
Yes, and in relatively good time as well. We are at our average hour and a half, believe it or not.
Too bad.
Yeah, I mean, granted, there was a lot to get through, more than usual, because this is they've given us this free DLC, which I can't wait to get started.
Oh yeah.
But I think one of the most important things about this update was the Q&A that we got from Dean Hall.
Yeah, some nice info there. I liked it.
Yes, especially with regards to now having a timeline for the paid DLC drops.
Yeah, late this year for the first one and next year for the next one. So
yeah, that makes me think it might be a Christmas
assuming
drop.
1 year, assuming a 1 year delay between the two, like it was end of last year when the base game came out, late this year for the first DLC. So again, late next year for the second DLC, maybe. Could be a Christmas drop. I don't know. We'll see. Christmas is very late here. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's actually a really good timeline. I mean, I kind of, a DLC usually drops anywhere from 6 months to a year after it was, the game was released. That's kind of normal. And they've given us so much already. I can't wait to see what they give us in the future. I mean, if what we've got already is anything to go by, we are in for a treat or four.
Oh yeah, especially if they go with alien plants and animals. Oh, it's gonna be fun. Gonna be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
Gonna be learning how to handle those animals. So it's gonna take at least 2 missions to learn how to handle those animals. That's gonna be a lot of fun. True.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. But we did get through it. There's a lot in there. We've got a whole bunch of new missions. We've got 14 new missions this week. We've got another 2 coming next week.
Oh yeah. I can't wait to get to the first mission. So we take a quick break.
Yep.
And start a new mission in say 8 minutes or so.
Yeah, I'm going to say 10 minutes because I'd like to have the opportunity to make a few hot drinks and get settled and ready for tonight's live game stream, which will.
I was more thinking 8 minutes will give you 45. Hour 45. Nice time to start. But we can start at 10:02.
Yeah, I think 10:02 would probably be better this side. I have to make sure that Kitty is looked after as well, so there's a couple of things I need to do for her, so I can do it all in one go.
Alrighty.
Alrighty, so for right now, I'm going to thank everybody for joining the chat. We hope to see you at 10 to the hour. Whatever hour it is that it's approaching, we will be back at 10 to the next hour. For live gameplay of the new Styx maps, and we will see where it takes us. We will be creating brand new characters.
Maybe today, maybe next week.
But we will most definitely see you at 10 to the hour in a little bit for the next live game stream. Until then, please remember, it's a dangerous world out there. Take care of yourselves and each other. And until then, it's good night from me.
And good night from her.
And we will catch you on the next one. Bye.